Good evening. I'm William Ferguson. This is Common Sense. This caravan, as they want to call it, I call it a mob on the move, which is really what it is. You know, it seems to coincide with a lot of things that have been said and done by the liberal Democrats recently. Maxine Waters calling to, well, if you see these cabinet people out, form a mob, get in their face, push back on them. Eric Holder, when they go low, kick them. Really. I can't remember his name. But he was saying, don't leave here to go home. Leave here, go to Washington, to D.C., and get in the face of senators and representatives. Push back on them. And all this call for violence, even Hillary Clinton got into it when she said, you will have no civility until we get our power back. But it's all coming together. Okay, these caravans coming out of Central America, they're timed pretty well to the midterm election. And these are all military age men, mostly, the greatest percentage of it. They had a Fox News reporter down there, and she said most of them were military age men, 18 to 35. And she said there were a few of them that were MS-13. They were marked as such with tattoos. But I've heard that some of the drug cartels, or the cartels, whatever they want to do down there, they're putting people in these caravans. And so the question really is, will the caravans actually get to the border without dispersing and deciding, you know what, I'm just going to go back home. I've had it with this walking. I've been doing it for weeks, days. I'm just quit. Forget it. I'm going back home. Or will they actually make it to the border? Now, I've seen a lot of forecasts that they're going to go west and try to come up through California. Well, okay, that's fine. But being as I was a Marine, and I was Westpac 311 artillery, I was stationed pretty much in Southern California. There are also naval bases and Air Force bases in that close proximity to the border. So I wouldn't suggest coming up through there, because there are active military bases there. And if you want to start a fight down there, they will stop it quickly. Now, that brings up another point. What happens if these people in these caravans, there are multiple caravans coming out, not just one. What happens when they do start, say, a small conflict and shots get fired? Then what? Would Mexico back these people? Would they step in with armed soldiers? Would that start a war? Seriously. These are people that we don't know their demeanor, their behavior. Do they get angry easily? Will they get violent easily if they get angry? What would happen? Really, what would happen? I'm not saying a war is imminent, but it is possible. If they have enough people come up to just one point in the border and try to get through, try to bum rush the border, and the military try to hold them back, but something goes wrong, it could very well start another war between the U.S. and Mexico. We don't want that. And of course, I can imagine that there are liberal Democrats salivating at this idea. Why? So they can point at President Trump and say, he did it. No, they're already doing that. They're blaming everything on President Trump. And are they giving him credit for anything? No. They want to take away everything that he has done that is good. They don't want the good. They want the power. They want to control you. They want to oppress you. They want to control you. That's what they want. And so far, the only thing that they've come up with as far as a policy is health care. But do they really have a policy that's doable, that's workable, as far as a health care plan goes? I don't think so. Because all the countries that I've heard of that have a single-payer health care program, the doctors don't want to work there. They're short-staffed in the hospitals. They have people that die waiting to get to see the doctor. It's a sad thing, but it happens that way. And even Pelosi said she wants the tax money back. Do we want Pelosi as the speaker? No. No, no, no. We need a level-headed, conservative, Christian Republican as the Speaker of the House. That's what we need. We don't need a liberal Democrat that has no policies, programs, or any idea as to what is really going on in this government. And we definitely don't need somebody that's going to try to tell us what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, and take all of our money. No. This is a free country. And in fact, all this violence that the Democrats are promoting, they're not saying a word about it. They're just promoting it. Get violent. Get violent. Get violent. No, that's not what this country is about. This is not the Middle East. This is not pre-Cold War Russia. This is not Venezuela. This is not a socialist country. We are free people. We live in peace. We enjoy our peace. We enjoy the ability to just pack up and go on vacation. Pack up and move somewhere else if we don't like where we live, or if our job takes us somewhere else. We can have just about any job we want. This is a free country, and we are free to live in peace. We don't need violence. And this person, or people, that are mailing these bombs and packages and whatever to the Democrats and the liberals, my theory is it is a liberal or a Democrat doing this. That way, they can say, if they don't get caught, it was the Republican Party that was doing it. The Republicans I know are conservative Christians. We don't do that. We don't play that game. It's harmful. It causes fear. We don't want fear or harm. Now, I also noticed none of the packages that had so-called bombs in them exploded. Why? Well, if it is a liberal that sent them or placed them in the boxes, whatever, Why would they want it to explode? They wouldn't. They don't want to hurt their own people. So that's why I get my theory that it was a liberal trying to point a finger at the Republican conservative, the Christians. And it's only going to get worse if we don't stop it. We have November 6th to vote. That's how we have our voice heard. That is how we say this is the justice that we want, the people of the United States. Because this is our country. It's not the Democrats' country. It's not the Republicans' country. It is our country, the country of the people. I myself, I am sick of this idea of the Democrats thinking that violence is going to get them somewhere. It's not. It is going to get them nowhere. Especially if those who think and use common sense in their daily lives and in their voting habits go to the polls and say, I don't want this violence. I don't want somebody controlling my life. I want to be free in the country of freedom. Now, while I was praying this morning, the thought came across my mind. Why are people so hateful of this country, the Democrats? And the answer that I got was, because we are rich. Even our own people hate the fact that we are rich, because they don't have the money. Everybody has the money. And the Democrat liberals want the money. They want all the money. And they don't care if they take it from the people that work for the money, that slave and toil and sweat and break their backs for the money. They don't care because they want it. And they want it so bad, they will promote violence to get the vote. But you know, oftentimes, people call it karma. I call it God's justice. Because even in the Bible it is written, you reap what you sow. Your greed will kill you. Your greed will bring you to poverty. The more you want so that you don't have to work, the less you will have. You have to work for what you have. It's a way of life. You know, the first thing that God gave to man was a responsibility. Tend to my garden. And so Adam had his first job, tending to God's garden. So the liberals seem to think that they have to do nothing except promote violence, of course, and lie about everything else in order to have the money. But we, the people, we are the ones that say, we don't want you in office. Your greed will destroy this country along with you. We don't want that. We want our freedoms. We want our own wealth. We are the wealthiest country. We are the freest country. And you know, God gave us this country. This and South America are the two last continents that were inhabited by major populations. I know there were indigenous here and in South America. But once the Western European got here, the population grew. And it grew quite well. And this country has been built by sweat, muscle, blood, death, war, you name it. And today we have freedom. Do you want to lose that freedom? Vote conservative Christian. Vote Republican. That's all I've got for now. Please pray for this country, that there will be peace in this country. Pray for the leadership of this country, that they will guide this country following God's word to peace, prosperity, safety, security, and unity, and that we keep our freedoms allotted to us by the Constitution. I thank you for watching, and I ask that you join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for Common Sense.